Okay, so we're here at the Capitol with Erik Rydberg. He's a candidate for Secretary of State. Erik, what are we doing here today?
Today we're here. We're standing with the Nurses Union, and we're saying that we need Medicare for all. We need a healthcare for all system here in California. Right now, it's being held up by Anthony Rendon, a Democrat, who's stalling the bill. And we're long overdue. We're the only major country in the world that doesn't have a healthcare for all system. 700,000 people go bankrupt every year in this country because of medical bills, where in our neighboring countries that have socialized medicine, like Canada, 0 people go bankrupt every year. So it's pretty much a shame. America's incredibly behind the curve on making the commitment to its people to ensure a healthy life and the right to live to every single citizen. So we're standing here with the Nurses Union today. I'm also here today to sit with Assemblyman Gallagher from District 1 here in California. I'm here with Oil Money Out. Oil Money Out, People Power In.
Awesome.
We're sitting with him today, and we're asking him to make a commitment and take the Oil Money Out pledge, which is a pledge to say I'm not going to take any more than $200 from any kind of oil lobbies. He's a Republican, so it's going to be a fun conversation to have with him. But I'm going to mention to him that, even Sarah Palin, when she was governor of Alaska, increased the severance tax on every barrel of oil by 25%. She raised $1.5 billion for the state, was able to accomplish a lot of things that people praised her for. So if a Republican can do that, Gallagher should be able to take the pledge and make that kind of commitment. Right now, California's out of the 22 oil-producing states, the major ones, we're the only ones that don't have a severance tax on every barrel of oil that comes out of the ground. And it's estimated that we're losing $2 billion a year to the fact that we simply have no severance tax whatsoever. So these are the kind of conversations we're looking forward to have with Assemblyman Gallagher today. And I'm just very proud and honored to be standing here with the lifesavers in our community, our Nurses Union. And
so you're taking this advantage of being here in the Capitol for universal health care to also take a stance on against fossil fuels. People think that the Dakota Access Pipeline is the major pipeline and it's not in California, but there's also fights for pipeline in California to stop them in California. Can you talk a little bit of your activism on that?
Yeah, I think you're referring to the Jordan Cove LNG pipeline. So Jerry Brown, our Democratic governor here, had an opportunity to shut down fracking. And instead of taking that opportunity to be the governor moonbeam that we all wanted him to be, unfortunately he passed fracking. That led to a pipeline being built up to the Oregon border, dead end. It was the pipeline to nowhere, so there wasn't a lot of protest around it. But what's happening now is now that pipeline's built just on the other side of the border in Oregon, dead ends in Malin, there's a Canadian company that's trying to build a 230-mile pipeline called the Pacific Connector Pipeline. This pipeline is to ship the fracking from California up into Oregon, under the Klamath River, under the Rogue River, and under Coos Bay to build the first export station of fracked gas. So if that's not bad enough, this export station and this Pacific Connector Pipeline, or the PCPL, it's going to be taking all the fracking from the Canadian pipelines, all the gas that comes through Washington, Oregon, Utah, Colorado, Nevada, and California. So it'll be the largest methane producer on the West Coast. They have to burn like 15% of that gas just to keep it in the liquefied form. They call it liquefied natural gas. We all know it's unnatural, but they'll be producing a massive amount of methane right on our coastline just to keep it in liquid form until the ships from Japan can come over and pick up the gas. So I just got back from Oregon with the Yurok, the Hoopa group, and the Klamath tribes that are protesting Kate Brown to say, hey, we need you to take a stand, shut down the export station. And so how this relates to Californians is the Klamath River runs down into Northern California. There's also the Trinity Rivers that are tributaries of the Klamath River. So this is an opportunity for us and for any of my fellow water protectors out there that came from California. This is an opportunity for us to stand with the indigenous people of our land here in California. It's an opportunity for us to protect the water and defend the land of our own peoples, and it's right here in our backyard. So it's time to take a stand. All these things are related. Healthcare for all must happen, must be a reality in our lifetime. It must be a reality immediately. The fossil fuels are creating health issues that are becoming an overbearing burden on our healthcare system. So it's time for everybody to stand up all of the issues, whether it be social justice, whether it be healthcare, whether it be fighting fossil fuels. All these fights are the same fights, and they're parallel, intersecting lines. So we need to stand up for our own health, for the health of the planet, and for the sake of our indigenous people that have just been treated so poorly throughout American history. Now's the time to make a stand and do what's right for the future of our future generations.
Yes, so hey, the first time I met you was Lobby Day here for SB562, and they had the Democratic Convention. We stormed the convention. It was a great day. So you've been an advocate for healthcare and for against fossil fuels for a long time. I think you're a great person to go and talk to our elected officials about it. You're running for Secretary of State. Can you give us your website for people who might want to help you get signatures or maybe make a donation?
So you can find me on CrowdPack at CrowdPack and search my name, Erik Rydberg, ErikRydberg. And you can also find me at eric4sos.org. Those are my two websites. You can look me up. We're collecting signatures for all of our green candidates right now. My experience, and the reason Secretary of State is the Chief Elections Officer. I did voter registration and ran for delegate for Bernie Sanders in 2016. I saw how the system works. I identified some things that actually make it difficult for people to vote. So what I want to do is I want to get on the ballot, so even if I don't win the whole thing, I can raise the debate and say, hey, it's time for us to have an inclusive system, a transparent system, where every single vote is counted guaranteed. So that means doing away with machine-counted ballots, doing hand-counted paper ballots, doing mandatory recounts. Alex Padilla, the guy I'm running against, he's the one he raised $6 million in 2014. If that's the kind of money that can be generated for an election, we should easily be able to pay for a mandatory recount to assure our people that every single vote is counted and that we in fact have a functioning democracy. So vote for me on June 5th, and if you please go to your county registers and get Erik Rydberg for Secretary of State petitions, and get out in the streets, and let's build the future that we all deserve.
Yes, let's do it. All right, thanks a lot, Erik, and thank you for running on all the progressive issues that you're running on.
Yep.
All right.